What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to work on getting my new Stealth Series, the V2, thrown into my truck. If you're not familiar with that, go back and watch last week's video where I talk about what's different with the V2 series. But today I want to take the truck out right now and get some before clips of the exhaust and how it sounds and how it spools in case the new turbo sounds any different. And then we'll go ahead, come back, get the truck pulled in, get the turbo pulled out, get the new one thrown in, then take it back out and go over the turbo, what I noticed different about it, and that's basically about it. It's gonna be a pretty long process, so I kinda wanna dive right into it. So right now, let's take the truck out, get started up, and get some sound clips of it. As you guys can hear in the video how quick this thing actually comes into boost, and once it starts building, it's right into it. As you can see, this is a fairly clean tune. And that's about 17 pounds of boost right there. Peak boost, I've seen this thing make like 48, I believe, and this is only on the sport tune. I'm gonna let it warm up a little bit more and then I'll really get on and show you guys what this thing's gonna make for boost. Okay, so here you guys go. This one makes for some boost. As you can see, probably by the edge, I believe that was around half throttle, and that was making almost 35 pounds of boost. So this thing, as you can hear, it comes into boost really fast. So now that we're done with that, let's get it back in the garage and we'll get the new series thrown on and see how that one does. Alright, so about an hour in, I finally got the Stealth pulled off. This was a really simple job to do. It only took me, like I said, about an hour to get this off. I'm going to work on right now getting the new Stealth thrown in. But before we do that, I want to talk about, these are the part numbers for the coolant feed lines and oil feed lines right here. You need 3 of these gaskets and then 1 of these turbo gaskets right here that goes on the pedestal to seal the turbo. I always put new gaskets on every time. They're super cheap. Like, all these are probably like 30 bucks. And you're already taking off, you might as well put a new gasket on. So I just want to throw these part numbers in there so you guys have them. And then all you gotta do now is take the oil drain off this turbo, torque it on the new one, and then take this sensor off and get swapped over to the new one. And that'll be about it. I'll work on getting a new one thrown in. Alright, so if you guys have a 17 through 22 L5P and you're looking for a Stealth Series turbo, let me know. I'm not looking to get any money for this. I feel bad selling it because the outdated version. I'm probably going to talk about how good this new one is. I have my hopes high for it. But this is like a $4,000 turbo, and I don't want to see this go to someone that's just going to take it, you know, resell it and make some money off it. I want this to go on someone's truck that's actually going to run it, drive it, and enjoy it like I did for a few thousand miles. So if you guys have Instagram, DM me on there at Denny Diesel, Denny_Diesel. Let me know you want this turbo. But like I said, just prove to me you have an L5P and you're actually going to run this and not resell it. I have an actuator to swap this to a 17 through 19 truck, even though it's set up for my 20 plus. And yeah, just let me guys know if you're looking for a Stealth Series turbo, and I will get this shipped out first thing on Monday. Alright, so I decided to put on my new powder coated cover. This is the color that I'm going to go with for my powder coating on my truck, and it is Dior Gold. As you can see, it's gold with a little bit of flake in it, and I just got that cover swapped onto here. For the time, I was running a 17 through 19 intake horn on my truck, so I got the 20 plus one, powder coated the same color, and now I'm just kind of waiting to see what kind of setup I'm going to stick with in the future before I go ahead and order all my piping. So right now I just have the basics, the horn and the Stealth. You do need an intake horn to run the Stealth, just so you're aware, so that's why I have the intake horn. But without further ado, let me go ahead, get this run into the truck, and then we'll go ahead on a little test drive and see how this new unit performs. Okay, so we got it fully installed. That's what it looks like with the intake horn and the powder coated turbo cover right there. Definitely got to get the Y bridge done at some point, because the Y bridge hides basically everything powder coated in here, and at some point I want to do like a wire tuck these down under the Y bridge just to clean up the top of the engine here to make it look a lot more clean. But for now, this will do. So let's go ahead now, start it up, and see what this thing's going to sound like with the new V2 on here. I'm sure it's going to sound the same, but I may be surprised. I'm actually surprised on how well this spools up. I have my windows cracked a little bit so you can kind of hear the turbo, but the slightest bit of throttle, you can hear that turbo just spool right up. Before, it used to take a little bit, but now it really comes to life. I really don't want to beat on this tonight just because I put the turbo in. I want to let it break in, but I'm actually blown away on how much this actually spools, and I want to give it some time, you know, like a week or so, spending the time with the turbo to see, you know, what I actually noticed different about it before I just start coming out the gate and rambling all this stuff off. I want to test it a little bit and make sure it's all good before I really get my full in-depth review. So stay tuned to next week. Give me a week with this, you know, to drive it and see what I noticed different, and we'll make a video next week on the differences that I see. So that's about it for this video, guys. We got the new Stealth Series V2 installed. I took it on a short little test drive. I really didn't want to beat on it tonight, just due to the fact that I just put this turbo in, and I want to let it break in a little bit, and I want to spend, you know, like a week with the truck, driving it, seeing what I noticed different about it before I start coming out of the gate and talking about how good the turbo actually is. I want to make sure it's actually up to my expectations on what I think it is, just not in my head that it's better. So give me about a week, and next week we'll go over what's all different about it and what I noticed. So if you guys are new here, be sure to subscribe. If you like the stealth content, be sure to leave this video a big thumbs up. But until next time, we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Stop this conversation. We got no relation.